Hello again, back at you with another video. So this is going to be a bit more of a different video, as you've already read the title, but today I want to go over my vinyl record collection, or as I just like to call them, vinyls. So ever since like 2019, I have noticed that the vinyl records have made a comeback, and people have been buying them. I've mainly noticed this when I was at Walmart back in 2019 and saw a bunch of vinyl records. Some of them, now I didn't get into vinyl collecting until like 2020 or so, but I did have a vinyl before that. So I just want to go over my vinyl collection, show you my favorite ones, and go in a little bit more depth into them. So hope you enjoy this. So this is actually one of the first two records that I ever had, that I ever have. So this one I had got for Christmas when I had gotten my old record player. That one stopped working, so I got a new one. But anyway, yeah, it's Aerosmith's Greatest Hits. Now I say this is first of two, but I'll get into the other one in just a moment. So anyway, Aerosmith's Greatest Hits. We got like Dream On, Same Old Song and Dance, Sweet Emotion, Walk This Way, Last Child, Back in the Saddle, Draw the Line, Kings and Queens, Come Together, Remember Walking in the Sand. And of course, Come Together is a cover of the Beatles. Now this is actually a real good compilation of like Aerosmith's hits. Now this particular version came out in 1980. Well, the Greatest Hits album came out in 80. So yeah, it's got all the hits from like before 1980, and it's a good album. Yes, a soundtrack for one of my favorite 80s movies, and maybe one of my favorite movies of all time. So this is Back to the Future soundtrack, featuring The Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News. So yeah, soundtrack from the classic 1985 movie Back to the Future, and it's from Geffen Records, a Universal Music Group company. So yeah, Back to the Future, it contains The Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News, as mentioned earlier. Time Bomb Town. I think that was the scene. I think that was played in the scene where you hear music playing whenever Marty McFly wakes up before going over to see Doc Brown at the Twin Pines Mall. Back to the Future being part of the score by Alan Silvestri, which he's a good score composer. Heaven is One Step Away. It's performed by Eric Clapton. I think this is one of those songs that you hear whenever they go back to 1955. Back in Time, as performed by Huey Lewis and the News. Huey Lewis and the News. Again, one of two Huey Lewis and the News songs on here. Then we got the Back to the Future Overture, again composed by Alan Silvestri. The Wallflower Dance, Dance With Me, Henry, performed by Etta James. I can't remember which scene that was from. Night Train, that was when they were at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance, where you can see Marty playing Johnny B. Good. Then, of course, Earth Angel, Will You Be Mine, of course, from the same Enchantment Under the Sea dance. Then we got Johnny B. Good, as mentioned earlier, of course, performed by Michael J. Fox, and Marty McFly being Michael J. Fox's character. But anyway, it's a good soundtrack. Love Back to the Future. It's one of my favorite movies. Matter of fact, I'm even wearing a Back to the Future shirt right now. Now here's another good album for you. It's Boston. Now I'm not going to speak too much on this one, mainly because a lot of people only know know the song More Than a Feeling by them. But anyway, it contains More Than a Feeling, Peace of Mind, Foreplay, Long Time, Rock and Roll Band, Smoking, Hitch a Ride, Something About You, Let Me Take You Home Tonight. Not to be confused with that one song by Eddie Money from the 80s. But anyway, a lot of people only know More Than a Feeling. But if I had to pick a favorite, I think it would probably be Peace of Mind or Foreplay, Long Time. So yeah, that's Boston. It's a good album. Now, here's Creed's greatest hits. Now, for those who don't know, Creed is a post-grunge band / alternative rock band that was made popular in the mid-90s to early 2000s. It actually became one of the most hated rock bands of all time, like way before Nickelback was a thing. Even though I actually like both Creed and Nickelback. But now the hate has kind of died down a bit. But anyway, here's the songs. You got Torn, My Own Prison, What's This Life For, and One, all of which are from the My Own Prison album. Then you got Are You Ready, Higher, With Arms Wide Open, and What If from their album Human Clay. And then side C has One Last Breath, Don't Stop Dancing, Bullets, My Sacrifice, and Weathered from the album Weathered. If I had to pick a favorite from each, I'd say My Own Prison, What If, and Bullets. So yeah, it's a good compilation. I think Creed's a very underrated band. So yeah, I highly check them out if you want to listen to more. Ooh, now this one's one of my favorite bands here. Evanescence. This is their debut album, Fallen, originally released in 2003. Now, of course, a lot of people only know maybe like Bring Me to Life and My Immortal, mainly because those were played a lot on the radio. But I consider them far from a two-hit wonder band. Like there's Going Under, Bring Me to Life, Everybody's Full, My Immortal, Haunted, Tourniquet, Imaginary, Taking Over Me, Hello, My Last Breath, and Whisper. And also, so if I had to pick a few favorites, mine would be Going Under, My Imaginary, Taking Over Me, My Last Breath, and Whisper. Those are just some of my favorites on this album. I really love this album. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. With like another band we'll get to. And I know you will probably see some kind of trend be disrupted. Like you'll go like, oh, like classic rock bands or classic movie soundtracks. But then we got some more modern stuff like Creed and Evanescence and some others that we'll get into eventually. But anyway, yeah, that's Fallen from Evanescence. I highly recommend you check out more of their stuff other than Bring Me to Life. Now we have the soundtrack to Footloose, an old movie from the 80s starring Kevin Bacon. Of course, with songs like Footloose by Kenny Loggins, Let's Hear It for the Boy by Denise Williams. Where the heck is the other ones? Oh yeah, there's Almost Paradise by Mike Reno of Loverboy and Ann Wilson of Heart. And we'll see Loverboy again on here, but it's, oh yeah, and Heart too, but we'll get to them later. We got Holding Out for a Hero, performed by Bonnie Tyler. Now most people would only know that song from Shrek 2, when the fairy godmother sung it. Then we have, I don't know if this is continuing side one or getting to side two, but here's Somebody's Eyes by Carla Bonoff, or however you pronounce her name. Then The Girl Gets Around by Sammy Hagar. Then Dancing in the Sheets by Shalamar. Then the other Kenny Loggins track, I'm Free, Heaven Helps the Man by of course Kenny Loggins. There's also Never, performed by Moving Pictures. Now, I highly recommend this soundtrack and the movie. It's really good. Now, of course, you'll be hearing me say that about a lot of the bands or movie soundtracks. But yeah, I highly recommend you check it out, especially if you're into 80s flicks and like Kevin Bacon as an actor. So yeah, there's Footloose. Ah yes, here's the Ghostbusters soundtrack. Now, like Back to the Future, this is one of my all-time favorite 80s movies. So yeah, it's from the 1984 classic Ghostbusters. So of course, side one, we got the Ghostbusters theme by Ray Parker Jr. We got Cleaning Up the Town by the Bus Boys. We got Saving the Day by Alessi. We got In the Name of Love by the Thompson Twins. I Can't Wait Forever by Air Supply. Then side two has Hot Night, performed by Laura Branigan. Magic, performed by Mick Smiley. The main title theme, Ghostbusters, which was part of the score composed by Elmer Bernstein. Same with Dana's theme. And then we got the Ghostbusters instrumental version, where you don't hear Ray Parker Jr.'s vocals on this song. But yeah, Ghostbusters, one of my favorite movies from the 80s, probably one of my favorite movies, period, just like Back to the Future. One of the greatest 80s movies of all time. So yeah, I highly recommend it. And I highly recommend watching Ghostbusters if you haven't watched it for some reason. Another more modern band. Now this one being a bit more on the alternative rock side. The Goo Goo Dolls Greatest Hits Volume 1, the singles, which mainly consists of a lot of their hits from 2007 and before. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So here's the list of songs. We got side one is Let Love In from the album of the same name. Dizzy is from the album Dizzy Up the Girl. Here Is Gone, I think, is from that same album, if I'm not mistaken. And as well as Slide. Or hang on, maybe Here Is Gone is from the album Gutter Flower with the song Sympathy. A newly re-recorded version of the song Name from A Boy Named Goo. We got Stay With You from Let Love In, and Before It's Too Late, which before this released, it was called Before It's Too Late, Sam and Michaela's theme, because it was in that first Transformers movie directed by Michael Bay. You know, the one that had Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox and had Linkin Park on the soundtrack. Now, and of course, this making its I'd say it's making its debut on here, but it's appeared before. But here it is with the best of collection. Side 2 has Broadway from Dizzy Up the Girl, Feel the Silence, a remixed version. So I think this is also from Let Love In, Better Days. I can't remember which one that's from. Or Big Machine. Black Balloon was also from Dizzy Up the Girl. Sympathy was from, Gutter Flower. And Iris, the song everybody knows, which just recently hit 200 streams on Spotify. No, that's the song. If you never heard of the Goo Goo Dolls, but there's a good chance you've definitely heard this song. I'd sing it, but copyright rules suck. So yeah, there's that. So this section's getting on a little too long, but highly recommend this band. And so yeah, go check out more of their stuff aside from Iris. So the next two are kind of weird, but here's the I have two different versions of the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 soundtrack. One is a 2-pack where it has the songs from the motion picture, which is basically all the American pop songs Star-Lord likes from like 60s or 70s or whatever. And the other is the score by Tyler Bates, which is a good score. And then we got So the songs here, we got Hooked on a Feeling by Blue Swede, or however it's pronounced. Go All the Way by the Raspberries. Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum. Moonage Daydream by David Bowie. We got Fooled Around and Fell in Love by Elvin Bishop. I Want You Back by Jackson 5. I'm Not in Love by 10cc. We got Come and Get Your Love by Redbone. Cherry Bomb by the Runaways. Escape, the Pina Colada Song by Rupert Holmes. And Ooh Child. No, I'm not going to sing that again, but that's the 5 Stair Steps. Ain't No Mountain High Enough by Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. So anyway, the score consists of The Final Battle Begins, Morag, Everyone's an Idiot, Sacrifice, The New Meat, The Pod Chase, Don't Mess Around with My Walkman, and Losers being a bonus track. The Ballad of the Nova Corps, instrumental. The Kiln Escape, Groot Spores, Guardians United, The Big Blast, Black Tears, a Nova Upgrade. So yeah, that's the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack. Now the other one here is just a vinyl with the songs, and it's just Star-Lord's face on the back. It's got like the other 5 Guardians, well, the other 4 Guardians, but yeah. Anyway, love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. You'll definitely love this soundtrack. Now we got the second Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack here. So, oh crap, did not mean to do that. Get back in there, Groot. So yeah, we got the second Guardians of the Galaxy picture disc vinyl, where it's basically just the poster on the disc or on the vinyl. But yeah. Then of course on the songs we get here is Mr. Blue Sky by Electric Light Orchestra. We got Fox on the Run by Sweet. We got Lakeshore Drive by Al Leota Haynes Jeremiah. We got The Chain performed by Fleetwood Mac. We got Bring It Home to Me by Sam Cooke. We got Southern Nights by Glenn Campbell. My Sweet Lord by George Harrison. Then on the other side, we got Brandy, You're a Fine Girl by The Looking Glass. Come a Little Bit Closer, also known as the theme of Yondu. Jay and the Americans, it's by Jay and the Americans. Wham Bam Shang-a-Lang by Silver. We got Surrender by Cheap Trick. Father and Son by Cat Stevens. Emotional moment right there, if you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Flashlight performed by Parliament, or however it's pronounced. Then the Guardians Inferno, which is performed by the Sneepers, featuring David Hasselhoff. A lot of you younger folks, people from my generation would know David Hasselhoff from The Moment in SpongeBob. But aside from that, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, it's a good movie, love the soundtrack, and I highly recommend it. And it's not the last time we'll be seeing the Guardians of the Galaxy in this video. See, told you it wouldn't be the last time seeing the Guardians of the Galaxy in this video. But yeah, this is for the last movie in the series, before James Gunn decided to leave and go direct that new Superman movie, which is really good. And he is also the head of DC now, Marvel's rival. I made a Marvel's rival joke and wasn't aware of it. So anyway, we got disc 1, side A. Contains the acoustic version of Creep by Radiohead, which is played in the opening of the movie. Hey, told you we'd see Hard again. It's Crazy on You. Got Since You've Been Gone by Rainbow. We got In the Meantime by Space Hog. We got Reasons by Earth, Wind, and Fire, the same people behind September and Let's Groove. Then Do You Realize by The Flaming Lips. We Care a Lot by Faith No More. Koinu no Carnival from Minute Waltz, performed by Hammock. I think that's from like an anime game or something. I'm Always Chasing Rainbows performed by Alice Cooper. And we also got San Francisco by the Mowgli's, Poor Girl by X, This Is the Day by the, No Sleep Till Brooklyn by Beastie Boys. And just a little side tangent, but it's kind of odd that both this movie and the Super Mario Brothers movie came out the same year, and they both managed to have what's it called, No Sleep Till Brooklyn by the Beastie Boys in it. We got Dog Days Are Over by Florence and the Machine, one of the newer songs in the movie. Badlands performed by Bruce Springsteen. I Will Dare by The Replacements. And we got Come and Get Your Love making its return by Redbone. So yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, one of the best Marvel movies ever made. Don't let the in-game people tell you otherwise. But yeah, love this movie. It's got a good soundtrack. It's very the movie's very emotional too. Not going to get into detail if you want to see it for yourself. But anyway, on to the next one, and highly recommend this. Now, this is probably the oldest record I got in the collection, as it's been around for a while. Now, a little story behind this. Now, this is Journey's album Escape. I had found, so me and my grandparents, as well as my cousin, were going through the attic up at a old house they used to live in, and just found a bunch of different stuff. And this here happened to be one of them, and I didn't even have a record player at the time, so I thought this might be a good collector's item. And years later, when I got a record player, and I wanted to find out if this would still work or not, to my surprise, it still worked. And ever since then, well, even before that, I even had a Journey shirt with this same exact album cover. And ever since then, I've been hooked. Journey has been one of my favorite bands. So let's go over the little album for the track list here. We got Don't Stop Believin', the song pretty much everybody knows. Stone in Love, Who's Crying Now, Keep on Running, Still They Ride, Escape, Lay It Down, Dead or Alive, Mother, Father, Open Arms. So if I had to pick a favorite off the album, well, a few favorites, obviously Don't Stop Believin', Keep on Running, Still They Ride, Lay It Down, Dead or Alive, and Open Arms would have to be some of my favorites. But yeah, that's Journey's Escape. Highly recommend it. I actually highly recommend you check out a lot of other Journey stuff. So yeah. So then it won't be the last time we'll be seeing Journey, because we got another Journey album coming up. See, told you Journey would be making a comeback. So this is their album Frontiers. And this is probably my favorite of the three Journey albums I've listened to so far. And on the back here we got, let's see what we got here. We got Separate Ways, Worlds Apart. I think that song I feel like a lot of other people know that song now because of Stranger Things with the two different remixes on that soundtrack. Send Her My Love, Chain Reaction, After the Fall, Faithfully. We got Edge of the Blade, Troubled Child, Backtalk, Frontiers, and Rubicon. Now my all-time favorite track on this, some of my favorite tracks on this album would have to be Separate Ways, Send Her My Love, and Edge of the Blade, just to name a few. Anyway, that's Frontiers by Journey. Highly recommend you check it out. Now this here has to be my favorite band ever. This is Linkin Park and their debut album Hybrid Theory. I just got this for Christmas not too long ago. And so yeah. Now Linkin Park's one of my all-time favorite bands, if not my all-time favorite band. And just going to go over the track list real quick. We got Paper Cut, One Step Closer, With You, Points of Authority, Crawling, Run Away, By Myself, In the End, A Place for My Head, Forgotten, Cure for the Itch, and Pushing Me Away. And also, some of the songs I feel like a lot of people know, but I feel like a lot of the normal people only know In the End and some other songs. Well, at least till this album, they probably mainly know In the End. But yeah, there's Linkin Park. If I had to pick a few favorites, there would be Paper Cut, One Step Closer, Points of Authority, Crawling, Place for My Head, and Pushing Me Away. So yeah, that's Linkin Park. Highly recommend you check out all of their work, specifically Hybrid Theory and Meteora, which I don't have a vinyl of Meteora yet, but I'd love to obtain it someday. But anyway, in the meantime, be sure to check them out. Okay, we're not quite done with Linkin Park just yet, but this is actually a album that has kind of been mixed upon Linkin Park fans when it first came out. It's their album Minutes to Midnight. This has songs like Wake, Giving Up, Leave Out All the Rest, Bleed It Out, Shadow of the Day, What I've Done, Hands Held High, No More Sorrow, Valentine's Day, In Between, In Pieces, Little Things Give You Away. And yeah, there's that. Some people will know some of the songs, like Leave Out All the Rest, because it was in the credits for Twilight. And of course, What I've Done was in that first Transformers movie I mentioned earlier, directed by Michael Bay and starring Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox. But yeah, there's that. And if I had to pick a few favorites, I'd say Giving Up, Leave Out All the Rest, Shadow of the Day, No More Sorrow, and I think it was In Between. That was one of my favorites. But yeah, there's that. Highly recommend it. Even though it might be even though a lot of people say that they're mixed on this one. Ooh, now this may be a bit more of a controversial one, but this is Linkin Park's newest album, From Zero. Now this is actually when they got back together with a new singer. So unfortunately, I'm not going to get too into too detail with this one, but Chester Bennington had unfortunately passed away. He was the former lead vocalist. And years later, they managed to get back with Emily Armstrong, which I think she does fine. A lot of people are mixed on that. I think she does fine. I know Chester's shoot. I know she'll never be Chester, but she's good in her own way, when it comes to vocals, of course. But anyway, some of the songs on here are From Zero being the intro, got The Emptiness Machine, Cut the Bridge, Heavy as the Crown, Over Each Other, Casualty, Overflow, Two-Faced, Stained, IGYEIH, which stands for I Gave You Everything I Have, and Good Things Go. So yeah, so if I had to pick a few favorites, I'd say Cut the Bridge, Heavy as the Crown, Over Each Other, Casualty, Two-Faced, and I Gave You Everything I Have. For sure, there's some of my favorite tracks on this album. But yeah, I actually highly recommend you check this out. I know some Linkin Park fans may not like the new album because some people are mixed on Emily Armstrong, but I personally enjoyed the new album. Okay, this is the last Linkin Park album. So we're almost done with Linkin Park, just bear with me now. So this is their the Paper Cuts Greatest Hits album, which was just released back in 2024, way before Emily Armstrong joined the band. So some of the tracks we got is Crawling from Hybrid Theory, Faint from Meteora, Numb/Encore, which was a mashup with the Jay-Z song Encore, Paper Cut from Hybrid Theory, we got Breaking the Habit from Meteora, then we go over to side 2, which we got In the End from Hybrid Theory, Bleed It Out from Minutes to Midnight, Somewhere I Belong from Meteora, Waiting for the End from what was that album called? 1,000 Suns, yeah. Castle of Glass from Living Things. Then we go over to side 3, which contains One More Light from of course, One More Light, Burn It Down from Living Things, What I've Done from Minutes to Midnight, QWERTY, which if you look at your computer is just the QWERTY on your keyboard. Now this was originally a Linkin Park Underground song that was originally unreleased by the band, but they released it on here. Then we got One Step Closer from Hybrid Theory. Then we got number 4. We start off with New Divide, which was in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Leave out all the rest from Minutes to Midnight. We got Lost, which was from the Meteora 20th Anniversary Edition, where they have a bunch of new demos and stuff. Numb from Meteora, and Friendly Fire, which they actually released as a lost single from the One More Light sessions. Now this is it actually makes its debut on this particular Greatest Hits album. So yeah, highly recommend it, especially if you're a Linkin Park fan. Now this is a little different from the other ones I showed you. So far we had like soundtrack albums and a bunch of 80s and 70s rock bands, and even stuff from like the 90s and 2000s alternative groups. But this one's a little different. It's the 40th anniversary edition of Michael Jackson's Thriller. Now I'm not too good at reading cursive, so I'm just gonna pull this out. Yeah, I know I'm like 21 years old and can't even read cursive. So just gonna take a look at the list here. We got Beat It. Then, where the heck is it? We got Billie Jean. We got Human Nature. Pretty Young Thing, or PYT. We got The Lady in My Life. Then on the other side, we got, let's see here. Want to Be Starting Something. We got Baby Be Mine. Then The Girl Is Mine, which featured Paul McCartney of the Beatles. Well, this was also when he was starting his solo career. And then we got Thriller. And also a lot of people will definitely like Thriller because of the Vincent Price narration. Now, for those other people watching who don't know who that is, Vincent Price is a old school horror actor made popular in the 30s and 40s with the Universal monster movies. He starred in one of the Mummy movies. I can't remember which one exactly. So yeah, there's Michael Jackson's Thriller. So yeah, so we'll just go ahead and put that sucker back in if I can. So yeah, Michael Jackson's Thriller. Highly recommend it. Now this is the first of 3 Stranger Things soundtracks released so far. I'll definitely be getting the season 5 soundtrack whenever that gets released. But yeah, this is the ones containing the songs from the first 2 seasons. So of course we start off with a intro from Will singing The Clash, which is just dialogue from the show. Which, in case you're wondering which song by The Clash, it's a song we'll get into later. But then we got Every Breath You Take by The Police. We got Should I Stay or Should I Go, Clash song from earlier. Coffee and Contemplation, which is from Hopper. We got Hazy Shade of Winter by The Bangles. We got Nocturnal Me by Echo and the Bunnymen. We got Bring Him Home, which is a dialogue from the show, said by Joyce. We got Sunglasses at Night by Corey Hart. Side B contains Girls on Film by Duran Duran, Just Because People Tell You. I think Jonathan says that. Atmosphere by Joy Division. Maybe I'm Crazy from Joyce again. Twist of Fate by Olivia Newton-John. Says Logic from Dustin Henderson. We got The Ghost in You by the Psychedelic Furs, and Africa by Toto. We got Side C, which contains You Don't Mess Around with Jim by Jim Croce, Accident or Not from Dustin. We got Whip It by Devo, Runaway by Bon Jovi, Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper, Talking in Your Sleep by The Romantics. I feel like a lot of people would also know that song from the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Mouth Breather from, I think it was either Mike or 11. Back to Nature by Fad Gadget. She's Our Friend and She's Crazy from Dustin. We got Rock You Like a Hurricane by The Scorpions. Heroes by Peter Gabriel. Friends Don't Lie. I think that's from Mike. Elegia from New Order. Then we got the outro, which is also Will singing The Clash. So yeah, I highly recommend every season of Stranger Things if you haven't seen it yet. You especially want to see it with the last season coming out this year. Don't know when yet, but it's supposed to come out this year. But yeah, love Stranger Things. Highly recommend this soundtrack and the show itself. Now, this is the one containing the songs from season 3. So in this one, we get Baba O'Reilly, Confidential MX, a remix by The Who. And then we got Things Can Only Get Better by Howard Jones, Material Girl by Madonna, Foreigner, Foreigner's Cold as Ice, She's Got You by Patsy Cline. We got ROCK in the USA, A Salute to 60s Rock by John Mellencamp, Neutron Dance by the Pointer Sisters, Can't Fight This Feeling by REO Speedwagon, Wake Me Up Before You Go by Wham, My Bologna by Weird Al Yankovic. We also got Moving in Stereo by The Cars, Never Surrender by Corey Hart, Lover Girl by Tina Marie, Working for a Living by Huey Lewis and the News. Hey, they made a return. And We'll Meet Again by Vera Lynn. So yeah, like I said, love the Stranger Things series. Highly recommend it, and I'll highly recommend you check out the soundtrack. Okay, we're almost done, and this is also the last Stranger Things soundtrack, but this one's from the most recent season as of filming this video. And of course, there's artwork from season 4, and for the songs, we got the Separate Ways, Worlds Apart remix from Bryce Miller / Aloy, and that's by Journey, of course. Got California Dreamin', originally by the Mamas and the Papas, but covered by the Beach Boys. Psycho Killer by Talking Heads. Running Up That Hill, A Deal with God by Kate Bush, which a lot of people were obsessed with whenever this season came out, and I loved that scene. You Spin Me Round Like a Record by Dead or Alive. Chica Mea Canita by May Arnett. I think that's how you pronounce that. Play With Me by Extreme, which I first heard that song in Bill and Ted. Detroit Rock City, the single version by Kiss. We got I Was a Teenage Werewolf by The Cramps. I feel like a lot of people know The Cramps now, mainly because of that one song that was featured in Wednesday. Past the Dutchie by Musical Youth. Wipeout by the Safaris. Object of My Desire by the single version by Starpoint. We got Rock Me Amadeus by the Gold Mix by Falco, not to be confused with the bird character from Star Fox, also one of my mains in Smash. We got Traveling Man by Ricky Nelson, Tarzan Boy by Baltimora, Dream a Little Dream of Me by Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong, Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo, single version by Rick Derringer, Fire and Rain by James Taylor. We got Spellbound by Susie and the Banshees, Master of Puppets by Metallica, When It's Cold I'd Like to Die, featuring Mimi Goose by Moby. Then, of course, the last remix of Separate Ways, Worlds Apart, the extended remix by with Bryce Miller and Steve Perry, the original frontman of the band, which love Journey, by the way, in case nobody noticed. But yeah, also love Stranger Things, and again, how I recommend it, and also how I recommend the soundtrack. Okay, we got last one. Oh god, well, last one after this one. But yeah, this is the Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack with the picture disc of Jack Skellington, and on the back it's going to be Sally. So side A contains the opening narration, this time done by Patrick Stewart. Got This Is Halloween by the citizens of Halloween Town. Jack's Lament, which was done by Danny Elfman, who is also the singing voice as well as of Jack and the composer of this whole movie. What's This, performed by Danny Elfman. The Town Meeting Song, which was also performed by Danny Elfman and the other cast. Same with Jack's Obsession. We got Kidnap the Sandy Claus, which is performed by Paul Reubens, Catherine O'Hara, and Danny Elfman. Making Christmas, performed by Danny Elfman and the citizens of Halloween Town. Oogie Boogie Song, performed by Ken Page and Ed Ivory, which, rest in peace, Ken Page. He just passed away last year. Sally's Song, performed by Catherine O'Hara. Poor Jack, performed by Danny Elfman. Finale/Reprise, performed by Danny Elfman, Catherine O'Hara, and the citizens of Halloween Town. So yeah, love The Nightmare Before Christmas. I highly recommend it if you hadn't checked it out yet for some reason. Also love Tim Burton and love this soundtrack. And now, this is the last vinyl I own as of filming this video. So this is the Top Gun soundtrack, another one of my favorite 80s movies. So this here contains Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins, Heaven in Your Eyes, performed by Loverboy, Mighty Wings by Cheap Trick, which a lot of people will find out if they play Street Fighter on Guile's stage. They'll notice that his theme sounds a lot similar to Mighty Wings by Cheap Trick. Take My Breath Away, performed by Berlin. The Top Gun Anthem, performed by Harold Faltermeyer and Steve Stevens. We got Hot Summer Nights, performed by Miami Sound Machine. We got Playing with the Boys, the other Kenny Loggins song. Lead Me On by Tina Marie. We got Destination Unknown by Marietta. Through the Fire, performed by Larry Green. So yeah, love Top Gun, highly recommend it. And also highly recommend the soundtrack too. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was meant to hold you guys over until that first trailer for Max Amazing World of Plush, the movie, comes out. But anyway, hope you liked the video. So like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and be sure to, for new videos, and be sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram too. As always, the name is Mac. Hope you guys have a good day.